Hey, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of La Vida Baseball Live. Happy Monday, April 26th. Here is a look at what is trending in our world. The Padres-Dodgers series, the rivalry is alive and well and kicking in Southern California. It certainly lived up to the hype this weekend with a 4-game set played at Dodger Stadium. Bauer, Tatís, Machado, Hosmer, oh my. Of the 7 games played so far, 4 ended up going to the Padres. 4 ended up going into extras. 2 included some benches clearing, flaring tempers, and almost all of them have boasted some intense pitchers' duels. The record-breaking home runs and a few late nights for some edge-of-your-seat late-night entertainment. Who stayed up to watch these games? I know I did. Some Oscar-worthy drama for you, some awesome trolling, and the best part, we have 12 more of these amazing matchups for the NL West rivals to look forward to this season. We've got some in June, then some in late August, and then 2 in September. And by the way, speaking of Oscars, the 93rd Annual Academy Awards took place in Hollywood last night. Only the nominees, presenters, and crew were allowed in attendance in-house due to COVID protocols and travel restrictions. But this year boasted the most diverse list of nominees and winners, including a record 70 women receiving a total of 76 nominations, which is a record for a given year. Fernando Tatís Jr., he was the name on every baseball fan's lips this weekend in the 4-game matchup versus the Dodgers. He saw his batting average rise basically 100 points. Amazing. The 22-year-old phenom hit 2 home runs on Friday on the 22-year anniversary, on the 22nd year anniversary of his father, Fernando Tatís Sr., hitting 2 grand slams in the very same ballpark. I mean, was it meant to be? I don't know. He has 6 home runs versus the Dodgers this season, and he set a record as the first shortstop ever to homer in 3 straight days at Dodger Stadium. Pretty awesome. Now, I love a good collab, so here we've got MLB and cooking. You can't go wrong. Le Creuset, maker of fine kitchen tools and appliances, is teaming up with MLB for this amazing collaboration that brings us 4 Dutch ovens. If you're a fan of the brand, which I am, they do these collabs every so often. Last year, they teamed up with Star Wars and Lucasfilm. Here you go. Here it is. I've got them right here, Star Wars themed. We've got R2-D2 and C-3PO. Well, this year you've got your option of the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, and also the Cubs as far as picking a Dutch oven. So they're color coordinated. Jason Hayward happens to be a spokesperson talking about all the food his grandmama used to cook and what he's being able to recreate with these Dutch ovens. So if you're a fan of cooking and baseball, you may want to check these out. And that is a list of what is trending. All right, and it is now my pleasure to introduce Jennifer Mercedes, coming to us from New Jersey, and Ozzie Guillén Jr. checking in from Chicago. How are you guys? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Doing great, Julie. Thanks for having us.
Happy Monday.
All right, so we have so many. First of all, the weekend was so amazing. In your opinion, what was the best thing that you saw this weekend?
Well, for me, it was easy. For me, the best thing that I saw this weekend was obviously the 13-1 win and making it the 13th win for the Oakland Athletics. I know that on Sunday they lost their 13-game winning streak, but I think a team that starts off 1-7 and then goes and wins 13 games in a row, for me, the Athletics need to get coverage. No one's talking about them. How do these guys still do it? The team of the weekend for me was definitely the A's.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. Especially they started. How did they start the season? Like 1-6.
1-7.
Incredible. Jen, what about you? What was the best thing?
Well, obviously, being from the entertainment industry and acting and all that stuff, I love the Oscars. I love any type of award show, red carpets, the whole thing. I love it all. But actress Yoo Jung Kim, I'm sorry, not you. I have Ann Kim in my mind right now, and I'm sorry, but Yoo Jung Yoon, she made history becoming the first Korean to win Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars, and she was probably the most relatable person at the Oscars when meeting Brad Pitt, who was the one that presented her with her award, and she was like totally shooting her shot. It was like, where have you been? Why weren't you in Tulsa when we were filming the movie? And I feel like she was more excited about meeting Brad Pitt than she was about winning the actual award. She was so cute. totally enjoyed her speech. And then another part of the Oscars that I really enjoyed, the commercials, but particularly specifically the trailers that we were able to see. One for West Side Story, which was the original, was the film that allowed me to see myself and to see our culture be presented in a movie, I think, for the first time. And that's what made me want to get into the industry and become an actor. I was like, I saw that and I was like, I want to do that. And then last night we also saw an updated trailer to In the Heights, which I cannot wait. And to see the Dominican flag, the Puerto Rican flag, the Cuban flag flying around during the Oscars, it was so cool for me. It was such a proud moment. Like, shout out to Lin-Manuel Miranda, Leslie Grace, and all the other cast members who are going to be part of this amazing movie.
Oh my gosh, it is going to be Latin musical summer. I am so excited for these two films. Oh, that first movie. I mean, that movie, the original West Side Story, made such an impression on me as well, Jennifer. And seeing as they brought back Rita Moreno to have a cameo, to be able to sing, that Steven Spielberg is showcasing her talent in her late 70s. She's just absolutely killing it. I cannot wait for those. If you were anything like me, you were switching back and forth from the Dodgers-Padres series and, of course, the Oscars last night. For me, this was a wonderful moment. The best thing I saw, in addition to the Padres-Dodgers series, of course, was Mia Neal and Jamaica Wilson becoming the first two African-American women to win an Oscar for Best Hair and Makeup for their work on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which is streaming on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It is a phenomenal film. This is a category that was long dominated by males, by white men for so long, since movie magic started all the way to the middle of the century. And then you start to see more women get involved. But this is an industry, as we know, nobody lays some hair or beats a face like a black makeup artist. So congratulations. They absolutely killed it and also blazed a trail as well. Okay, weekend walk-off. Who won the weekend, in your opinion, Ozzie?
Well, the weekend for me on the weekend walk-off, like I mentioned earlier, I think that it was definitely, obviously, the Athletics. I think that the way that they played the game has definitely been a team that's been underrated. And again, I definitely think that they're definitely the winners for this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Jen, who you got?
Fernando Tatís Jr. and Los Padres. Los Padres de San Diego son los padres de los Dodgers. Not really, but at least over the weekend, that was a big part of the conversation. And all I could think of every time I saw Fernando Tatís Jr. come up to bat and Manny Machado come up to bat, it was the "Who's your daddy?" chant that we used to hear Yankees fans chant to Pedro Martinez. That's what we saw. I mean, Tatis with the trolling of the McGregor walk. I now call it the Trevor Bauer walk. When he hit home plate, it was awesome. I loved all of it. I am all for trolling and throwing some shade. Twitter was amazing over the weekend with him, as well as Trevor Bauer. So it was all good. Tatis Jr. for me.
And how about like the mock-ups where you have Trevor Bauer as the baby and Tatis Jr. as the mommy or the daddy?
Like he actually like used the mock-up, that meme, and he replied to one of Trevor's tweets with it. So I just, hands down, Tatis Jr. has won. Anybody who says that Tatis Jr. is overrated needs to start watching some baseball.
Oh my gosh. I don't think you can say that he's overrated. Like 6 home runs in 2 series against this team, seeing what he's been able to come back from with the shoulder injuries was just, I feel like there is some wind in the sails here in San Diego, seeing him come back, because as goes Fernando Tatís Jr., as goes the Padres, and he is truly the weather vane for that team. In my opinion, it has to be Trevor Bauer and his comments and what that means for the Latino baseball community. He says that, yes, players should play with flair, and yes, the trolling is acceptable, and yes, it is good for baseball. Let's not forget, it's called The Show for a reason. It is a show. It is theatrical. Let's get into it. And I loved his response when he was asked about the Tatis Jr. trolling after the game. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Why not? Buy in. And listen, if you dish it out as he does, he has to be able to take it. So good for him for taking it in stride and also letting it be known that, listen, pitchers, don't just throw at the next guy because he shows you up and pimps the home run. Get into it, buy into it. It is a rivalry. It is theatrics. There is a protagonist. There is an antagonist. It's a play in 4 acts. I mean, that's what we saw this weekend. And I love that he is all for it.
Yeah.
Ozzie, I hear you have some stories about that when it comes to pitchers and retaliation. So tell me what you think in your past. Do you think that this trend of, Trevor Bauer's opinion that it should be taken in stride, do you think that that will bleed into other guys being okay with it, or are they still going to take it personally?
Well, baseball players are going to be baseball players. Let's take it back to 2005 when the Chicago White Sox were the best team in Major League Baseball. It was a long time ago. But being in the dugout, you always see guys chirping. There was a player that should be a Hall of Famer, might be a Hall of Famer at second base, relaying signs, okay? And this is a Yankees team that was really good. And Freddie Garcia got on the top step and said, hey, so-and-so, they're friends. Stop doing that. And the player replied, what am I doing? Acting like he was an innocent child, and said, you're relaying the signs, okay? You're relaying the signs. You've been known for peeking into the signs at home plate, and now you're relaying them from second. I will drill you next time you're up. Pitcher hears this, looks at him and says, oh, he's relaying the signs. Next at bat, this player was drilled, okay? The following game, he was drilled by Freddie Garcia as well. And these are guys who are all friends. This all happened within a Latino, in Spanish, and then the American guys was what's going on. Then they started chirping in English. But it gives you the story of it's not even rumors go around. Obviously, the sneak peek of Tatís looking to the sign. We saw Dave Roberts comment on it. We saw Bauer kind of bring it up and have the little Twitter situation with Tatís because of the sneaking. But again, it's part of the game, and players will police players. And this is something that it's always going to happen, and it's going to be something that it's taken care of on the field. Fans love it. You got to have both. I feel like fans love guys showing guys up. Now everybody knows what happens in the world of personal life because of Twitter. But I definitely think it's exciting because everyone was talking about it today, early Monday morning, which means it's good for baseball.
Do you think Tatís was trying to steal the signs by looking down? Because A-Rod said that that's impossible unless he has a mirror on the top of his.
Wait, who said that? Who said that?
A-Rod said it.
That's really funny because he's the guy that we were talking about in the story before. And it just makes it that ironic that A-Rod was saying that it's not possible when he was doing it in 2005, and he knows it. Again, players are going to be players. You can definitely look. This is a part. Can you guess and look? Okay. Am I saying that Tatís stole the signs and he knew what was coming? Very hard because you definitely need to know the sequence of the pitches.
Yeah.
But is it what he did frowned upon? Absolutely. And that's why.
But is it up to the pitcher and the catcher to then adjust and change signs?
Here's the thing, though, Jennifer. You can adjust, but you should never in the batter's box, okay, be looking at the catcher's sign. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something that you don't do because it's like, oh, you really want to know what really wants to come. And that's what Trevor said. If you want to know what's really coming, I'll let you know. Okay. And when A-Rod got drilled, okay, and he was denying that he was doing it, it's like, you want to get on base so bad? Like, I'll get you on base. Like, we'll let you get on base. So again, did he look at it and it's like a trash can bang that you know what's coming? Absolutely not. It's a 2-second thing. Does it look bad? Okay, because you're trying to sneak peek. And this is the part where people don't realize this. And this is where A-Rod is full of it. Typical A-Rod. He's not looking for signs. He's looking for location. Okay?
So he's looking at where the catcher's setting up.
Or the catcher's setting up. You can tell inside or outside. And this is funny because sometimes catchers, they give themselves up because they shovel so hard. Yeah. They're so hard on their weight that you can tell. So that maybe that's why he peeked of like, wait, what's happening? And he didn't do it intentionally. But he might not have been looking for the pitches. He might have been looking like, where's this guy setting up?
Yeah.
If you're Tatís' talent and you're setting up inside, I'm like, two things are going to happen. Either a fastball inside that I'm going to turn on it, or it's probably going to be a ball. So that's where the questioning happens. But again, this is all part of the game. It's not that Tatís is bad. It's not that Bauer's doing something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's something that has happened in baseball forever. Fortunately, we can see it now on Twitter. Hence the fact I got to be here on Book of Ozzie, which I wasn't going to say the player's name until you mentioned him, relaying sign A-Rod. But that's why I think it's funny, though, because it's something that people think that it's never happened. And that's usually when you're watching games and you're like, why are they drilling each other? It wasn't because somebody dated someone's girlfriend or a bat flip. It's because things start happening of like, hey, we caught you once. Stop doing it. Because all the players do it. The fact is that you're doing it so obvious. Do you think we're dumb that we and that's what Trevor, the part that I really enjoyed about this, and Dave Roberts, they went back and looked at the video, which means they're doing the due diligence of, did we pitch him wrong? Because obviously it's an important series, and Tatís and Manny at this point own Trevor Bauer. So if I'm Trevor, I'm like, do they have my pitches? What am I doing different against them than I am against other people? Again, this is going to be something that's going to keep happening. I love the fact that he let them, clown him basically. I'll give you this much though. Next time Trevor Bauer strikes him out, have your TV tuned in because I know that he's going to do something stupid.
He's going to do something crazy.
Trevor Bauer, I pull a Zach Greinke and I will tell you what pitches is
But that's what he said. Hey, by the way, that's what he said. And he said, if you really want to know what's coming, like, hey, bro, if you really want to know what's coming, I'm going to tell you what's coming and I'm going to embarrass you by doing that. That's why when the argument in my story, they were telling Alex at second, like, oh, you really want to know what's coming? Like, because the part that's really interesting about that is you could be relaying signs and your team may not have any idea about it, okay? You might be wanting to give him the signs, and now I'm hitting and I'm going to get drilled, not knowing what you're doing as an idiot, okay? He might be in on it, so that's why they're like, hey, stop doing what you're doing. Like, we know what you're doing. Now the fact that you're denying it and it goes back and forth, that's what happens. Again, guys try to gain an edge on it, but that's why Trevor was like, I was okay with you hitting a home run, but now that I see that you really want to know what I want to throw to you, I'll let you know, bro. Let me know, and I'll let you know what I'm going to throw. And let's see.
All right. Well, there's lots to look forward to come June 21st, 22nd, 23rd, because that is the next time that these two teams and rivals will match up together in San Diego. I might be lucky enough to go. I don't know. I'm very excited for it, though. Okay, let's play a quick game of Would You Rather. And by the way, shout out to Lou Manny Rosario, who's watching, who said, new show, new look. Who dis? Yes, thank you. We hope you guys are enjoying it. Okay, so would you rather Ronald Acuna or Juan Soto? Jen?
Juan Soto. That's my guy.
Ozzie?
I picked him to win the MVP. Today I pick Ronald Acuna for this season.
Okay. I'm going to go with Jen. I'm going to tip the scales on that one. Juan Soto for me. Okay, which one would you rather eat? Tostones or mango? Jen?
Anyone who knows me knows I am a tostones girl. I wish that there was tostones offered anywhere and everywhere that you go and eat. It has to be a side dish. So yes, tostones.
I tried the Trader Joe ones, by the way. They're excellent. I tried them. They're awesome. Ozzie, which one?
Tostones, because mango, not everyone can make it. It's a really hard plate, so I'll go with tostones. It's a lot safer.
Okay. Where do you go on vacation, Jen? I think I know your answer. Dominican or Mexico?
DR, for sure. And I would go to Las Terrenas in the DR, one of the untouched places that you can go visit. It's beautiful.
Ozzie, Mexico, DR.
That's probably the two hardest places that you can pick. I love them both, but I would go with the DR, Casa de Campo, one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I think that Dominicans do the best job of catering to the visitors when you go there. They love everyone that gets there.
Absolutely. I go to Mexico all the time. I love it. I'm going to say DR because I don't get there as often. Cabarete is absolutely phenomenal. Who would you rather have dinner with, J-Lo or A-Rod? Ozzie, since you called him out just now.
You know what? I love to see J-Lo because obviously she's a beautiful woman, but I absolutely have no chance with her whatsoever. I would say A-Rod. Okay, I've eaten with him before, but A-Rod because he's a great businessman, and I think any idea that you put in his head, I would love to be a part with him and work with Presidente and whatnot. But I would go with A-Rod.
Jen, I know your answer to this one. Would A-Rod even stand a chance?
No, hell no. Especially not after all those rumors that are swirling with that reality star, anyways. But J-Lo, that's my girl. That's who I'm backing.
I could just imagine the two of you having dinner, like sharing makeup tips. I just, hopefully she could hook you up with some of her new makeup and stuff.
Close. I've seen her this close, and her skin is amazing. So
flawless, flawless. Okay, social media. Jen, who are you following social media that is your absolute favorite follow right now?
Oh, so there is this comedian, Sasha, who really has some of the most relatable videos, especially when it comes to the Latin community, that you will ever see. And they are hilarious. We have one regarding New Year's Eve and who you party with. Let's watch it.
Not together. Andrea. I made plans. Going out. Tú sabes que el año nuevo Es que tú no quieres estar con tu familia. Siempre buscan a mí. Es que la hermana tuya se piensa que ella es una persona importante, como si ella es una Jennifer Lopez. I never spent movies con grasa. People die esa mañana. Mami,
Come on now. I know you guys can relate to this.
Absolutely, I can relate to it. I've never spent a New Year's away from my family. I remember my first New Year's, I decided to stay home and not go to Venezuela. It was like the end of the world. They've gotten used to a little bit better, but no, I've never been to a nightclub or a bar or an after party. I'm at home with, if it's 100 family members, 100 family members. If it's two, it's two. But that's one thing I've never done. Never celebrated New Year's with someone that's not my family. So,
because you will get the guilt trip for sure.
Not for sure.
100%. I relate 100%. My mom does that all the time. And anytime it's after 11 p.m. What do you mean? Where are you going? Ozzie, who are you following on social media right now that you're loving?
You know what? My follow is the English teacher and professor Eduardo Escobar. This guy's not only doing it on the gram, but he's also doing it on TikTok. Well balanced. And I found he actually manages his own account, which is very surprising. But I love it. It's a mix of family. He's got like 10 kids. You guys can see them all here. They're all the same size. But he's got a big family. They're very involved. They're always together. But he's always showing himself training. That's just him and his beautiful wife. And he's an up-and-coming player in the sense of like the league is getting to know him. But he really shows you all his aspects. His religious background, having fun. And then obviously we've all known about his videos on TikTok and his whole English thing, calling guys out, making fun of them, trying to teach them. So he's a very exciting young player, obviously, to follow on Instagram. I love it. I think Eduardo is extremely, extremely funny.
That's awesome. My pick is Rachel Balkovic. If you're not following her, check it out. She has this wonderful mix of baseballisms and her journey to get to the major leagues and her background and all of the adversity that she had to overcome and just sort of her life journey. She gives great life advice. And she also gives you a behind the scenes look into what it's like for major and minor league hitters. And she truly came up through the ranks. She is the first woman employed by Major League Baseball by the Yankees. She is the Yankees minor league hitting coach, and she is absolutely phenomenal. She spent the offseason with Manny Ramirez down under, working in Sydney, Australia. And there, she was the one that was responsible for this video where the guy was wearing a Boston Red Sox hat and didn't know who he was. And so we were able to watch this. Also, she speaks wonderful Spanish, and she always loves to give correct pronunciations of players' names, which we appreciate here.
Yeah, and if you want to, just quickly, Julie, if they want to see our interview on Locker Room Talk, you can check it out. We have her on the show. It's on our YouTube page. Check it out. She's a wonderful interview.
Oh, she's absolutely phenomenal and so gracious and so wonderful at what she does. Now, Jen, I'm going to let you take it over here to close us out. What's on your mind, girl?
What is on my mind is what's been on my mind for the past 84 days, because it has been 84 days since the Angels suspended Mickey Callaway for alleged sexual misconduct. Now, they said that they were going to do an investigation and then something would come of it. And here we are 84 days later and nothing. We haven't had an update on the investigation. We don't even know where Mickey Callaway is, where he stands. I don't know what the Angels are waiting for. Long are gone are the days where people can just let a scandal slide and like you give it some time and it'll just blow over. That is not going to happen here. So I don't know what the Angels are waiting for, but the time is ticking and we're waiting. And I'm going to keep reminding you every week. Mickey Callaway still got a job.
It's April 26th, and Mickey Callaway still has a job. We are 1 month, almost a month into the Major League season, and Mickey Callaway still has a job.
He's not even that good of a pitching coach. That's the worst part. Like he wasn't. The Angels are doing better without him there. That's the part that's even more interesting. It's the fact that he still has a job. Well, who else would have lasted this long other than Mickey Callaway? Carlos Beltran was fired before he even got a chance as a player for something that all the other players did, and he didn't even play. And he was fired like on the spot. Mickey Callaway, what are you investigating? Like
murder? I don't know.
I don't get it. To be honest with you, if he keeps a job, it talks to the hypocrisy of Major League Baseball and how certain guys are treated over other guys.
Yep.
Okay, if this would have been anybody else, they would have fired him so fast. It wouldn't have even. And I know that they're probably looking at contracts. At this point, just pay the man and tell him to walk away, because as an organization, you're going to look really bad if you keep this guy in your organization at any level.
And we surely haven't forgotten. Well, Jen and Ozzie, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We will see you next week.
Good job, guys.